Nene and Darnell. You know them, the blade and fire-wielding friends who are missing their third member. But what do we really know about them? Here's 10 things about Nene and Darnell. Just like Pico, Nene and Darnell originate from the Flash series Pico's School. Darnell premiered in Darnell Plays with Fire, and Nene's character was explored further in Nene's Interactive Suicide after a brief appearance in Pico's School. Though he doesn't appear himself in Pico's School, Darnell is mentioned by Pico when trying to leave the school early, and there's also a campaign poster in the hallway stating Darnell apparently only has 5 years to live. From the beginning, Darnell has had an affinity for fire, and Nene was a sadomasochist, a theme that would follow the characters over 20 years later in their Funkin' appearance. Though Pico's School Nene got herpes from kissing Jordan Catalano, Phantom Arcade felt it appropriate to leave the STD humor in the early 2000s, making Nene's most prominent facial feature her sticking out tongue and sadistic grin, an expression bordering on cute and creepy. Nene's design apparently went through several iterations before the final product was seen in Weekend 1, iterations that will appear in a future art book. The finished design is largely based on her appearance in The Perfect Murder by Louis Castanon, whose cartoon was a staple in Newgrounds' depictions of knife-wielding Nene. Speaking of their Funkin' appearance, Darnell originally appeared in Week 5 as a spectator in the mall, though drastically different from his appearance in Dudettes. When working out his Funkin' design, Phantom Arcade knew the two staples for this character would be the lighter due to his pyromaniacal nature, and headphones due to the association with the Newgrounds audio portal. Eagle-eyed players of Weekend 1 may have noticed that in several of Darnell's sprites in Blazin, he's missing his headphones. Darnell is voiced by Ivan Almighty, and Nene is voiced by Lolitz Monica, the same voice actor as Mommy Miras. The disassembled robot Nene is sitting on during this weekend is A-Bot, a Newgrounds mascot who represents and moderates the site's audio portal. Nene and Darnell are disassembling him for scrap parts to sell, as they're broke due to the Daddy Dearest deal falling through. A-Bot is still alive during Weekend 1, as seen by the fact that their eyes move from person to person based on whose turn it is in the song. A-Bot himself isn't just playing a looping animation, and is an actual audio visualizer of the song currently being played. This means the visualizer is actually affected by the game's volume. A-Bot was likely chosen to appear in the weekend against Darnell since the two are co-mascots of the Newgrounds audio portal. When making the rain effect for the Darnell stage, the devs were highly inspired by this GIF by artist 1041UUU due to the depiction of realistic rain in a pixel art setting. The rain effect that actually bends light on the stage was made by Saharan, who actually got their PhD in computational fluid dynamics. Another small detail on this stage is that the traffic lights in the background actually change. This stage takes place in a different part of Philly than Pico's week, as seen by the background image file names. Pico's stage takes place on the roof of the Newgrounds office, and Darnell's down on the streets. I know this video is about Nene and Darnell, but Dudettes introduced Pico as the first alternate playable character, and with him a few other additions. Pico's first game over animation is based on the game over from Pico's School. I say first because he also has a unique game over when missing a paint can note during Too Hot, causing him to explode. There's another during Blazin, making Pico the current record holder for the most game over animations. Another neat detail is that in the first game over animation, it isn't Darnell that kills Pico, it's Nene. Nene will ready her knife if the player's health gets too low, preparing to execute them. Pico has a notable scar on his abdomen, not from the initial run-in with Nene, but confirmed to be from his fight with Hanzo in the bathroom during Pico's School. The fight between Darnell and Pico in the cutscene after Blazin is a reference to Gurren Lagann Movie 2's final fight, and their making up handshake is a reference to X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Another, albeit more obvious, Street Fighter reference is Pico and Darnell's fighting stance during Blazin. This is due to the fact that Phantom Arcade uses Sakagaburo, a collection of animation references from different media, as inspiration. This means that many of the animated shots in Funkin' use this resource for reference. Just like Boyfriend, Darnell has an Easter egg in the tread of his shoe. A prominent 99 can be seen on the sole, referencing the year Pico's School and Darnell Plays with Fire initially came out. Darnell's spray cans could also be a reference to the standard yellow cans in Jet Set Radio due to their similar appearance, albeit with a little Tankman decal. The songs Talkin' Smack and Fight seem to be based on the track that plays when Cassandra is speaking during Pico's School. Additionally, Chase uses similar almond break drums as the song that plays in the hallway of Pico's School. This last one may be my imagination, but the beginning of Blazin may be based on the track that plays during Darnell Plays with Fire. The song Blazin' actually originally debuted in the Pico Day trailer for Funkin' in 2022. 2 years is a long time, but speaking of a long time, the Weekend 1 update currently holds the record for the longest time between major updates at 3 years and 13 days. Originally that record was held by Week 7 at 75 days, so hopefully the next update won't break any records. At the end of Weekend 1, Darnell and Pico make amends, much to the frustration of Nene. In the Pico series, Nene and Darnell rarely interact, as they're both friends with Pico, but don't seem to be friends of each other too much. This could explain Nene's reaction in the final cutscene of Weekend 1. The song that plays when they become friends again is the instrumental of Two Nintendo Switches by Kawaii Sprite. Also, Friends is misspelled at the end of Weekend 1, since the school Pico and the gang went to was destroyed and they never received a proper education. This was likely a mistake by Pico, as both Nene and Darnell are stated to both have well above average IQs. Darnell's Week contains numerous series firsts for Friday Night Funkin'. First of all, it's the first weekend of the game, the first story mode sequence to not have Boyfriend and instead have an entirely new playable character, the first song to contain a unique mechanic with Darnell's paint bombs, the first song to have no singing and middle scroll all in one, multiple game overs, a 4-song week, and a song with the number in it, with Too Hot. In the source code itself for Blazin', the devs left a message saying middle scroll is just for this gimmick song and not a permanent addition. Weekend 1 adds new cutscenes to Funkin' to set the stage for this story mode sequence. Just like the stores in the mall in Week 5, there are crudely named brands like Dumb Fucks Coffee and 9-11 as a play on Starbucks and 7-Eleven. Sharp-eyed viewers will notice a little post-it note saying, "We've been in business since 1999. This is a pretty funny visual gag, but can also be interpreted as a nod to Pico, Nene, and Darnell, as they have also been around since 1999. Though it's not clear in the final cutscene, in the storyboard of the cutscene seen on Phantom Arcade's Twitch stream, Nene was shopping for knives, the same knives she wields while chasing down Pico. And that's 10 things about Nene and Darnell. I hope you enjoyed. It's been much too long since there's been a 10 things on the base game, and honestly, it feels pretty good to get back to it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.